Well, let's get started. First, aloha kako, and good afternoon. I want to thank all of you for attending this annual membership meeting of the Hawaii Association of International Buddhists and our presentation by Dr. Manulani Aluli Meyer. I'd ask you to check your mics and keep them muted during the presentation. Then we'll ask you to turn them on during the small group discussions and if you're called upon to speak. But otherwise, please keep them off, and I'll ask our co-host to double check if sometimes they get turned on and off by mistake, and our co-host can scan through the list and may turn off your mic if it seems to be accidentally on. I would ask that all of you do turn on your video so that we can see each other and have more of a sense of being together here. Many of us know each other, and it's really nice to see your faces and to have the sense of being together for this wonderful experience. We're going to begin our program this afternoon with a recitation of the vow of humankind and a short narrative history of the Hawaii Association of International Buddhists, or HABE, as we like to call it for short. Then we'll move directly into the presentation by Dr. Meyer, followed by small group exploration and discussion of her topic, which she will guide us in. The first part of the program will last about 1 hour and be followed by a 10-minute break. After the break, we will begin HABE's annual membership meeting, where we will elect and hear from the new officers and directors of HABE for the 2023 to 2025 term. I'd now like to ask Mr. Ken Okimoto, HABE's Director of Buddhist Education and member of Papaiko Hongwanji Mission on Hawaii Island, to now begin our gathering with the recitation of the vow of humankind. Ken?
Okay. Hi, Manu.
Ken, is that you?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
You know, when you say Papaiko, I'm like, is that the Ken? Sorry, Ken. Sorry.
Okay, we have to be serious. Okay.
Serious.
Vow of Humankind by Shinichi Hisamatsu. Calm and composed, awakening to our true self, practicing ardently our compassion, making full use of our abilities, according to our respective vocations, discerning suffering both individual and social and its causes, recognizing the right course for history to proceed. Let us join hands as kin beyond the differences of race, nation, and class. With love and compassion, we vow to bring to realization humankind's deep desire for liberation by making every effort to create a world that is peaceful and joyous. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Can you folks hear me? My sound went off for a moment. Okay, good. All right. Next, I want to just offer a short history of HABE for those of you who may not be familiar with our organization. And then we will jump into Dr. Meyer's presentation. The fundamental purpose of the Hawaii Association of International Buddhists is to recognize and celebrate unity within diversity among all Buddhists in Hawaii. HABE's beginnings extend back at least 50 years to the early 1970s, when Honpa Hongwanji minister Bishop Yoshiaki Fujitani began to envision an organization to bring together individual Buddhists of all various traditions and ethnic backgrounds in Hawaii. At that time, he reached out to meet leaders of Buddhist temples representing Thai, Laotian, Vietnamese, and Chinese populations. UH professor of Buddhist studies, Dr. David Chappell, joined Bishop Fujitani in these efforts, bringing in more Chinese temple representatives and collecting signatures of individuals from different Buddhist traditions who were interested in joining an organization of international Buddhists. In 1976, when Lama Karma Rinchen came to Hawaii to establish Kagyu Thegchen Ling, a Tibetan Buddhist meditation center, Bishop Fujitani welcomed him into this circle. A turning point came late in the 1980s when retired United Nations diplomat Mr. Richard Pa'u and his wife, Miss Diana Pa'u, joined in the work of establishing HABE. Also instrumental in HABE's development were Venerable Karma Lekche Tsomo, Bishop Dwight Nakamura, Venerable Tik Tong Hai, and Venerable Jin Wo Lee. In January 1992, with pro bono legal assistance from the late Herbert Hayato Tanegawa, HABE officially came into being with the adoption of its bylaws. We are deeply grateful to all the aforementioned people and also the countless others, too many to name, without whose contributions HABE would truly not exist. HABE's operating principles are clearly stated in the preamble of its bylaws as follows. We, the Buddhists of Hawaii, seeking to represent all Buddhist schools and traditions, agree as follows. To foster friendship and understanding among all Buddhist groups, to secure solidarity among them through the realization of the essential unity of all Buddhist schools, to promote the development of spirituality for improving the quality of life among Buddhists as well as humanity as a whole, and to organize programs for the achievement of peace and harmony through Buddhism's benign spirit of loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, equanimity, and the pursuit of happiness and well-being for all humankind and for all beings, I would add. Today and for the last 30 plus years, HABE has been an active organization of individuals with diverse Buddhist backgrounds coming together to get to know one another, to learn the rich and varied practices of our different Buddhist traditions, and to promote the cultivation of wisdom and compassion. All right. It is my great pleasure now to introduce to you our honored guest speaker, Dr. Manulani Aluli Meyer. Manulani Aluli Meyer is the fifth daughter of Emma Aluli and Harry Meyer, who grew up on the sands of Mokapu and Kailua Beach. That's really one beach. On the island of Oahu. Professor Aluli works in the field of indigenous epistemology and its role in worldwide awakening. She obtained her doctorate in philosophy of education from Harvard in 1998. Her book, Ho'oulu, Our Time of Becoming, is in its third printing. Her background is in wilderness education, for Outward Bound, a coach for Special Olympics, and a cheerleader for the Hawaiian Charter School movement. Dr. Aluli Meyer is currently the Konohiki for Kuleana o Kapolei, a Hawaiian place of learning at the University of Hawaii, West Oahu. I know each of you will find Dr. Meyer to be a powerful and inspiring woman, deeply in touch with indigenous Hawaiian ways of knowing. Manu, please give us your wisdom. Thank you.
Mahalo nui. Mahalo nui. Kulu o puakai. Ma alihilani kai. Kulalani ka hikokai. Elo o lalo wiko ayo kulani hapoi. Kulu maila ua. Haveve maila ua. Loku maila ua. E ola ko lalo nei. I kupua mu o maila, mu o alaula maila, lau alala maila, lala akumu maila, kumu apa ino ole. Aikea. Hi everyone. Who meets at 2 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon? I tell you, who meets at 2 o'clock? What an honor. Must be Buddhist. Must be Buddhist. I know there's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm telling you, it is such an honor to be here. Such an honor. Because the group of people that you spoke about, all those groups, wow, special. Because it has been my journey as a recovering everything to find the depth, beauty, and wonder and the clarity of the Buddha. I was so taken in the last 35, 40 years that I actually went and followed the Buddha's footsteps in India. It was really special. And that's another story. But here's my hat. Do you see that, you guys? That's kind of my work right now. And you are now sitting in the Uluniu, the coconut grove over here at UH West Oahu. We just had 50 volunteers come and help because engaged Buddhism is about makahanaka ike. It is about actually responding to the needs of our time. And I know the Buddha did by creating the clarity of what I consider some of the most amazing tools. And the tool for this talk is called simultaneity. I love learning. I love learning about simultaneity. It's Paticca Samuppada. It's dependent co-arising. It's as you sow, so shall you reap. So one of the major things is the ability to express ourselves in a dialogic pattern, not the dialectic. The dialectic is about arguing our point. It's about defending our thesis. Do you see how academia has a bit of a war going on? But for me, the Buddha's ideas are self-evident. Truth is recognized, and it nourishes us in deep and in fulfilling ways. So we are going to do the dialogic. We're going to learn. We're going to be in. Is that me? Is that? Wait, let me see if that's me. No. Okay. So the dialogic is two people, and two people. Are we ready to when we are ready to have dialogue? Someone's got their phone on. Excuse me. We've still got 30 people here learning how to make an upu, which is a coconut cup. You've actually, I just want to show you really quickly. This is our ulu. See the coconut? This is a coconut grove. We've got 12 coconuts, and they're all dwarfs, coconut dwarfs, and 8 new ulu. So 12 new poko, which is the dwarf tree, and 8 ulu. So this is called the cultural agroforestry movement, called Niu Now. So that's what I'm doing nowadays. And so to come at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I appreciate your patience in allowing me to zoom in from this site in Kapolei and here in the west, the Aina Vela, the hotlands. Sure not Popaiko, Ken. I miss that beautiful Popaiko place called in Mokokeawe. But one of the most important things that I've learned about the Buddha is the Buddha and the Christ said the same thing differently. And as a recovering Catholic, I've been looking for this my whole life long. When the Christ said, love one another as I've loved you, as you sow, so shall you reap. He's saying the same thing as the Buddha. The Buddha is saying we suffer because of our unawareness, and our unawareness can be fixed by our awareness of these 8 things that we could do. And it's pono living, pono thinking, pono behavior, pono sleep, pono eating. There's pono for me is truth. And so this is the discipline of our times, how to embody the Buddha's ideas, how to embody them. I mean, really, how do I embody them? So I asked this group, we're going to do this for 3 times in the next hour, because what happens is the Buddha, for me, mind is not the brain. Consciousness is not found in the brain. We know this now. Consciousness is an energetic field of expansion and contraction. Near us, around us, 1,000 miles from us, our mind is connected to each other. So I believe the Buddha actually understood that and practiced that by understanding and meditating and coming to the clarity of Paticca Samuppada, of dependent co-arising. Because we now know that our kupuna, aloha aku, aloha mai, kokua aku, kokua mai, meaning it means love is about loving. You know what I mean? A'o aku, a'o mai. We teach ourselves what we need to learn. And in that readiness, in that quality of intentionality, there's the dependent co-arising capacity. So, and you know what? They know that in the quantum field now. They're calling it simultaneity. Some people call it non-locality. Some people call it complementarity. It's a wonderful, these are wonderful synonyms for the implicate order, for the transspatial field that we're now in. So once you get that we are in an energetic field, remember when the Buddha said the external world is not reality. The reality is our perception of the external world. That's what we're talking about. How to qualify, how to engage, how to make clear our intention. And the Christ said, intentionality is the what did they say? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Because I'm in meetings and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that sounds good, but no, that's not going to work. So we are here to be of service. We are here to be of service. And so when you think of mutual causality, dependent co-arising, you have to work it with another. That's why conflict is so valuable. And that's why when you face conflict, we actually, and we're taught this, that you're mentored by conflict. You are shaped into an equanimity through conflict. So, and that is a practice. And makahanaka ike, you know what makahanaka ike means? It means by my actions, teach my mind. By my actions, teach my mind. That's a'oaku a'omai, meaning simultaneity. You will not learn until you teach yourself what that idea is. And that's why the dialogic, the dyad, the kuka is very, very important. And so what I want us to do is break into groups, because if this is a potential meeting to grow your organization, let's get to know each other, okay? Let's get to know each other in dyads. Paulo Freire taught me this. He came into my class and he talked about the dialogic, not the dialectic. The dialogic is the ability to talk to each other and to really listen. And if you go into indigenous philosophies, you're going to understand that the quality of listening, we say ho'olono versus ho'olohe. Ho'olono is to really hear what you're listening to. Ho'olohe is just kind of like casual listening. But when you ho'olono somebody, you activate the deity of abundance, peace, harvest, and awareness. And that is our deity and energetic field of lono. That's why I love finding that we are basically saying the same things differently. And we're all just learning how to love better. So prepare yourself for the first dyad. And the question I want to pose to you that you can ask each other is, who are you? And why are you here in this discussion of the Buddha and Ike Buddhism? Ike Buddha, it's the knowledge of the Buddha, the knowledge of the awakened one. And so who are you? And why are you here in this special gathering? Okay, Auntie, are we ready to put everybody in dyads? Okay, thank you. Have fun. We'll see you in about 6 minutes. And that's a lot of time, so talk to each other. What I wanted to do is to really start having better conversations with people and not just be a talking head. what I've experienced about the Buddha's ideas have been very personal for me, and very insightful for how to change my behavior. So discussing the idea of simultaneity, it's a kind of it's a heady term, isn't it? But I believe this kind of thinking has helped me understand my heart. So you use tools to know your heart, because if you really understand what the Buddha is trying to teach us, then you're going to practice it. And when you practice it, then you'll understand why it was so important and so vital. Because let me just go over what simultaneity means for me, because that dependent co-arising is a huge idea in the Buddhist tradition, or paticca samuppada, or mutual causality, or mutual emergence, or mutuality. But the idea is what Steve said. We're just flowing like water. I love that, Steve. Flowing like water. I mean, it is. It's kind of like the water course way in a way that that we actually will always find our our balance, because that is the purpose of the challenges that we have. We suffer because of our unawareness. I love that I love that rendition, because I used to think as a young adult, we suffer because of our desires, and I'm thinking, isn't not having a desire a desire? So this is what I'm beginning to understand, is the actual functionality. As an indigenous epistemologist, my job is to not only deconstruct, but to reconstruct the implications of enduring thought patterns on, on society today. So what does enduring thought patterns have to do with the Buddha? Because 40 days and 40 nights, which is pretty amazing. 40 is a special number for Hawaiian too. Hawaiians, we say ho'okahika'au, one unit of perfect offering is 40. What is 40? Something special there. Christ was in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. There's something about 40. So what I get by looking at older systems and the universal principles that are found in specific practices are ultimately enduring. These are ideas that make sense because they have endured. And one of my favorite ideas is that as you sow, so shall you reap. Aloha aku, aloha mai. Love, aloha is about loving. It's not about expecting aloha. It's about giving aloha. So aloha aku, aku is to give, aloha mai is to receive. So aloha aku, aloha mai, as you give, in that moment, there is the purpose of it. There is the purpose of it. There's the energetic field that gets expanded by its own accord. It's really, it's just getting simpler and simpler to me. And that is, we are doing what we are meant to do in our life. And if we're not, there is a healing. We're in our healing processes. And for Hawaiians, we're healing. We're in a healing mode. We're healing by telling the truth about what happened into our land and our peoples. We're healing. I'm not angry anymore. I just want to be clear. And I think the Buddha's teachings allow us to be clear without being hurt by it. Because if you're hurt by it, there's too much ego in there. But if you understand the truth of it, then that builds compassion. It really does. It does for me. It does for me. Because my family, we were dedicated and are dedicated to our lahui. My grandfather was one of the first Hawaiian lawyers in Hawaii, and he developed the Hawaiian Homes Act of 1920. So my family is dedicated in this way, and this is what brings me to this topic of how Hawaiian and Buddhism actually is synergistic. You know what I mean? Because people always think, oh, you're Hawaiian over here, you're Buddhist over here, you're Christian over here. My job is to synthesize the ideas. for the purpose of our collective awakening. Because I just think everybody's on the path now. Everybody. You can't say, I got it, you don't. I mean, go ahead. But if you do, you're not going to be in a collective energetic field of expansion. You just think you are because, my idea is better. And, I've done that road. I've done that road. I've done that road. And now I feel that that suffering, I used to think that suffering is really, that's our life. That's our life suffering. And absolutely yes. If we are not awakened, and if we don't understand the actual rigor of what simultaneity means and what Paticca means, then we're actually gonna be here thinking that that's my lot, and everyone else is over here and they need to suffer. So the suffering of others allows me to develop compassion, to develop a way to help others, and my own suffering is such a pain in the butt. And so when you actually understand that the reality of the world is shaped by our perceptions, oh, that's been so helpful for me. And the Buddha taught me that. So this is what I want to share. When I was walking around Sarnath, where the Buddha gave his first Dharma talk, it's really special, in India, off of Varanasi, I heard the Hawaiian chant. E iho ano oluna, e pi ano lalo, e huina namoko e kuina kapaya. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I hearing this chant in this ancient place where the Buddha gave his first Dharma talk? Why am I listening? And then I got chicken skin, kipu upu, all over my body. Because the chant says, what is above shall drop below. So all of a sudden, and then the second verse is, what is below shall rise, and the walls will be strengthened. So for me, that became, and the Buddha was there in an energetic field that said, my thinking, my over rationalized mind is going to drop, and my over preoccupation with the mundane world of emotions, of fear, of worry, that's going to rise. Even sexuality rise, and it's going to meet in our heart. And then we will strengthen and be of service to worldwide awakening. I really believe that. And that, Hawaiian Oli coming in the middle of India was not quite normal. And we teach thousands of kids that Oli, meaning what is below systems of government is going to change, and what is above will drop, and what is below will rise. It's more like a political chant. But for me, walking around the Buddha's energy, it was a spiritual one. And that was, what is the quality of my engagement with ideas? How do I embody the Buddha's common sense? So we're here today at a Uluniu work day, and I wanted to, we're still ongoing, and I wanted just to energetically plug into the spirit that is today as an engaged Buddhist, because the ability to work on food security is really important now. It's really important as we prepare for the changes in our future. So, and to our next dyad, I want you to ask, what is your commitment to the Buddha's clarity? How do you embody the Buddha's thinking and thoughts and illumination? How do you embody? So you can say things like, hi Sister Malia, good to see you. And that is, how do I embody? How do you embody the Buddha's intentionality, the Buddha's wisdom, the Buddha's thinking, the Buddha's clarity? Okay, can you do that? Can we split into groups of 2, and for 5-6 minutes, talk to each other and share what you're doing to embody the Buddha's thinking? Okay, can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Go team! Come on, you guys. TEAM. How was that? How was that? How was that? Are we able to talk to each other?
Yes.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Is it helpful?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
thank
was
you.
quite nice. Sorry I'm late, but I just plunged right in. I'm accustomed to doing that, so
Nice. You're accustomed to plunging in and hearing the voice of clarity. Thank you so much for doing your dyad work. I call it dyad because it's dynamic, it's dual, it's amazing. So what are some thoughts? Please share. Anybody?
Manu, I
Yes.
wanted to share something.
Okay.
The person that I was paired up with is Venerable Fatu. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. And what is amazing about that, I will tell you, is that I heard him at a Haid meeting.
Wow.
What was it, Porne? A couple of months ago or something. And I really enjoyed listening to him. And I've been trying to find another Sangha for meditation because I used to go to the Bodhi tree. And of course, we've been closed down with COVID. And so I've been trying to find him for so long.
Oh, wow.
Google, I've been trying to find his Dharmanhite, Sangha, this and that. I couldn't find him. So who am I in the dyad with? The very
Yeah.
person I'm trying to find. Simultaneity. I mean, it's simultaneity. It is like your energy is just so palpable and beautiful.
I've grown accustomed to the miracle. It happens every single day. And when you realize it is you, you'll bury in it too. Think of impossible things. No, you know why? Because the world is self-organizing. What
Yes,
happens is what my ego does is I want to organize it. I want to produce it, but it's already organizing itself. All we
right.
got to do is join in the joy and connect. That, we call it ku'u ku'u. Ku'u ku'us are the nets, are the knots in the net. And ku'u also means beloved. So
Oh,
that whole concept of conflict of interest is
mhm.
based on money and fear. So now we try to develop an understanding of concept, statement of relationality, so that we mature in our integrity. We don't debase ourselves with mistrust or just, I shouldn't know you. I mean, we live in an island. We live in an
Right,
island. Energetically, we should know each other. We
exactly.
should. And so that is a gift from your energy, my energy, and your Kumu's energy, because now you found what you're looking for. All you got to do is kind of ask, and that asking
Mhm.
is so vital. It's so
Yes,
vital. Oh, my sister just gave me Hawaiian ginger. Yay! Thanks, Miley.
yes,
Wow, Miley's here. Isn't that amazing?
yes.
She came to Kapolei. She came to Kapolei.
Can she show her
And
face, Miley? I haven't seen her in a long time.
I think you saw her the other day when you went to her sister Malia's talk.
Really?
Yes, she was there.
and actually, that's why many of us are attracted to Hawaii. Also, that's why we came here. And I had that consciousness when I met, Dr. Pat Masters, one of my closest friends of 40 years. And so, we were all supposed to come here together. It's a spiritual center of the world. And that's why we're learning from you and from everybody. Dr. Emmett Aluli, who was your
Oh,
ohana. And
yes, absolutely.
I love Dr. Emmett Aluli and all of the teachers, yes? So that's why we all came here.
Well, thank you so much, but I am no teacher. I am absolutely no teacher. The idea of oh my gosh, Steve, I'm just gonna have to quote you. Steve has been so mind blowing because I'm the fool. I just really on a good day to make people laugh, to understand that the space of humility is the highest pinnacle of Hawaiian life, and now the Buddha has taught me that also. But Steve, can you talk about the fool just for a minute, because I really appreciated that idea.
Yeah, I was quoting from Honen in the Jodo tradition, who said, persons of a Pure Land tradition attain birth in the Pure Land by becoming their fullest selves. So, kind of trying to remind ourselves that, we are very foolish people. It encourages us to be humble, to always listen to the Buddha's teachings, I think that creates a sense of a kinship with other people, realizing that we all share this sense of foolishness. It's almost about to be April Fool's time, and all of us have had a chance to be April Fools before, I'm sure.
Yeah. Steve, thank you so much. Would someone else like to share about your dyad experience? Dun, 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 dun,
I'll
dun.
share really quickly. I love these sort of broad questions, and my initial impulse was just to go down, how I don't do it the way I used to do it, and I used to be such what I consider to be a more, a better Dharma practitioner, Buddha Dharma practitioner, in terms of, at least half an hour of sitting every day, and groups sitting, 3 times a week or more, day-long retreats, monthly, the report card, right? And that's part of the problem in my life, is kind of always, what are the deliverables, and have the deliverables been achieved? So, for me, it's about taking the opportunity to meet this world, marked by,
Nice.
greed, hatred, and delusion, and kind of manifesting, trying to pursue and cultivate wisdom and compassion in the face of that, and understanding, and my partner, we talked a little bit about, you know, um, impermanence and interconnection, and kind of how precious this time that we have on this earth is right now with one another, and then in our shared environment. So, get rid of the cognition, and just, lead, a life that tries to be more grounded in the clarity of wisdom and compassion. So that's a
Oh
short of
my,
it.
I am a cheerleader for that. Thank you so much for that. That is the point of the Buddhist thinking. And now that I'm experience miracles every single day, I really realize and I get that the purpose of conflict is unity. The purpose of pain is to understand and respect suffering so that we can respond in a way that is timely and timeless. So the struggles that we hold and the impossibilities that are staring us down, I think that's the purpose. That is the purpose. So we awaken together. It's not like we're going to awake because we all have plush sheets and air conditioning. It's not going to happen that way. We have to we have to suspend our disbelief that we can do it well. And I think that suspension of disbelief begins spiritual practice. It really does. Because I've done being angry. I have a twin sister. She's very different from me. And in my younger years, I just really hated her. Hated. And I remember I had to go somewhere to find some peace. Like, why did I hate my twin sister? I mean, there's a long list of reasons, let me tell you, all justifiable. But it was the Buddha that said, you are mentored by difference. Be mentored by your impatience. Be mentored by the ridiculousness of your disdain. And I was, so Moana became my mentor. And she's now my best friend. I mean, beloved. And I call her often. But she's now in Portlandia, Portland, and she's a Portland person. She found her tribe. But I'm telling you, the conflict that I received was, of course, self-inflicting because I just thought it was her, her, her. She's this, she's that. But I'll say it once and I'll say it a million times. Right is the booby prize. You know what I mean? So what if I'm right and she's done this, that, and that? I still am separated from her. And so it was the Buddha's teaching of simultaneity, of dependent core rising. I mean, if you really get that notion, you're going to understand. I had to understand that I was actually causing it. I was co-causing it, procreating it with my twin. And once I got that, then I was able to forgive myself for being such a jerk. And Moana forgave me. And so, you know, ho'okahila au he mihi. The first
Perhaps her Wi-Fi is unstable. Did she disappear?
Yeah, looks like
Sorry,
maybe.
gang.
Oh, there.
Oh, there she is. Just like another miracle.
Not gone yet. You gotta suffer through a couple more minutes. No, you know, that was more that was something fascinating. Because you know, you're just talking about your twin and she's fish slapped you across the ocean. So yeah, no, I just really have to say that it is very key for us to now embody the principles of foolishness, the principles of knowing that with every cause there is a response, and that response is getting quicker and quicker and quicker, so quick that we're calling it simultaneity now. You know what I mean? There is a correspondence. There is a correspondence, and it's mutual. It has always been mutual, always, always, always. And whether you get it instantly or you get it a week later, it's always mutual. But mutual emergence is my favorite idea nowadays. We mutually emerge. So we don't emerge just because I'm just my big badass self. We emerge mutually. We emerge mutually. And if you do it joyfully, that expansion is really fantastic. And this is why I keep believing that the Buddhist movements of the world are going to be vital in the healing processes. I really do. I don't know how. I just know that the depth of compassion that we're being asked to cultivate in ourselves, cultivate across difference, across the aisles. You know what I mean? If we don't practice our respect for difference, we're going to just neo-colonize everybody with my good intentions. And I'm tired of that. My twin sister's amazing. She's amazing. And she's so different. She's so different. And so I'm mentored by difference. I'm mentored by the beauty of Hawaii. I'm mentored by the challenges of our time. And for me, the Buddha was not his name. Okay, I just want to say that. The Buddha was his enlightened state. Buddha means enlightened intelligence. His name is Siddhartha Gautama. But Buddha is his state. Christ wasn't his name. Jesus was his name. Christ was his awakened state. So I don't know. I think I want to be awake. I really do. I want to be awake, and I want to be awake with others. And so let's have our final dyad. And I want you to really talk to each other in this 6 minutes, and ask your partner, how are you awakening? Okay, now
Manu, I think
receive
we're kind of running over here on our time. I don't know if we have time for another dyad.
Oh no, it's 3:06. I'm so sorry. That's absolutely correct. It's 3:06. I thought I thought we had time. No, I completely say that. Totally.
It's been wonderful, really wonderful. Do you have any last words you want to leave us with?
Please continue to find each other, everybody, and thank you for allowing me this opportunity to talk story. Nam myoho renge kyo. Mahalo nui nui. Mahalo nui nui, everybody. Thank you.